I'm originally from Germany. I lived for 20 years in Canada, and we all live now here globally in what I call the post-COVID world. I used to talk about the post 9/11 world. And I have studied the fiat system or the central banking system, Federal Reserve System in specific, or in particular here in the US, since over 35 years. When the 2008 crisis hit, a lot of Americans that were, let's say, considered middle class, they found themselves jobless and in a lot of cases homeless. And that is also something that, I mean, I'm not sure how it hits, the rest of the world, but I've talked to a lot of Canadians and North Americans because I am now in North America since about 20 years. So people do maybe not realize, at least the average person out there, that this was not just like an individual event. Even the things that we have been taught in history about the 20s, when there was the Black Friday and the stock market collapsed and suddenly people had to line up in soup kitchens and whatnot just to get some food. This is all very closely related to the fiat system or the central banking system, like I said, which I studied for quite a long time, and you would be surprised that every single war, World War, smaller wars included, every single revolution, French Revolution, Russian Revolution, American Revolution, is tied directly to the central banking system. Most people don't have the passion to study these things, yet they are being raised to chase these fake money, as we talked about, this fake money for most of their lives, instead of taking a step back, hopefully listening to someone that has to tell them maybe a little bit of story, or just can get them motivated to read the book, for example, in the US here about the Federal Reserve, which is called The Creature from Jekyll Island. It's out since, I don't know, 40, 50 years when Edward Griffin wrote that book. It takes just an hour to go through it in summary, and suddenly you would understand the system. So when COVID hit in Canada, I needed, because of let's say the political measures that were going on there, needed to flee the country. After 20 years of living there, feeling wonderful and everything, it was a decision within 1 month. I'm, by the way, here now in Florida. In the US, my wife is an American citizen, so it was easier for me than for a lot of other people. So with horror, I had to watch how the Canadian truckers that were driving in the middle of ice cold winter in Canada, those of you that have been up north or live in northern states know how the winters are, all across that big, large country to Ottawa, to just voice their opinion about things. And people that supported them, their money was confiscated by the Canadian government with illegal measures. That's a maybe more political statement, but they could just do it. And that is something I saw from afar with horror. So with our system here, with our opportunity, you individually, personally own your gold and silver, either when you have it shipped into your own hands and do whatever you want with it, or through our international decentralized vaulting companies. We're not ACM as a company, but you are the owner of that gold and silver. And when you do understand the difference between an inflationary fake fiat money system and what some people would call gold, which is God's money, and you let that sink in, and you look at the compensation plan that Justin has put together, and you have done your due diligence like I did before I joined here. I looked what he did back then by already processing $1 billion with a B dollars of gold and silver. He has more experience than a lot of other companies that have maybe similar models. And so I'm extremely confident in Justin and what he's doing. And that is basically what made the next step when I looked at the compensation plan. I think the compensation plan is one of the best that I've ever seen. I like binary teams because in a binary compensation plan, everyone is forced, if they like it or not, to support their team, because there's only two ways of how you can place your next person, either left or right, and they fall under somebody. And actually they fall usually under a lot of people, which is wonderful here. So it's easier as a, let's say, as a leader to help your team in this compensation plan. Now, when you look in particular about the compensation plan, takes only 32 people, if you maximize it, to get to the pot of gold, which is the highest rank in the company. How many companies out there do you know where it takes only a team of 32 people to reach the very top and to share the pot of gold with all the other, let's say, experienced networkers that might have hundreds of thousands or a million people on their team? You need only 32 to share the pot of gold with them. I just posted in here, there are no excuses. Everyone can do this. Even people that live in low GDP countries, like in South America or in Africa, some places in Asia. Because when you think about it, the yearly membership of $149 for a customer's perspective that wants to just buy gold and silver for the cheapest price, why it just makes sense. It's a very unconfrontational conversation to bring up gold and silver. You don't have to explain the product. People are just interested, okay, what does it cost or what does it take? How does it work? Right? That's how easy you can basically approach people. So if you live now in a low GDP country where even $149 are a lot of money, you only need to invite 6 people anywhere on the planet and you get $25 direct bonus for that. So if you are a team leader, it should not be difficult to someone that is really willing to teach everyone, no matter where they are, no matter where they stand in life right now. And it's challenging for everyone, the times that we're in, and we're in very dynamic times on so. So just watch these things to get a feeling where we are right now planetary. So this solution to step out of your respective government fiat money, government issued, or however you see how these things come to pass. With gold and silver, you're tapping into something that goes beyond all these systems that you might like, enjoy, or not. This is beyond any religious belief anyone has, any political belief system. What you can do is secure your personal and your family and your loved ones' future in these extremely uncertain times. Nobody knows what is coming. But hopefully many people remember last year when a record number of banks in the US have failed. Silicon Valley Bank, to mention one. The second largest bank in Switzerland, Credit Suisse, was absorbed by the largest one. So these are all signals about the uncertain times that we live in. And to equip someone with securing their personal security with gold and silver is something that I feel very happy about. I feel very proud that I can bring something like this to people. And we're not even selling anything. We're helping people to swap their fake money into real money. That is very powerful. So when you fall asleep at night, remember, if somebody has introduced you to these webinars, to this opportunity, how much power they actually gave in your hands. And if you want to maintain that power, reach up to your sponsor, to your team, to your leaders, and join forces with us as, let's say, the gold diggers globally that want to spread this amazing news to the world.